Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. Another beautiful day here in Western Mass. It was 60 yesterday, just crazy. We're 1 week from Christmas. Today is the Wednesday, I guess the 18th, somewhere in there. But we're 7 days away. So crazy weather. We've been warm, cold, all over the map. But that's New England for you. So I'm going to do one video today, on the roof line. Just gonna try to get this piece stitched together and have you work with me on that. I did get the door figured out. I don't know what the issue was with this originally, but I think this door this car might have been hit on the other side at some point. And I'm gonna have a lot of repair to that roof line, or maybe a tree fell on it or something. But I think things were a little tweaked, but I did pull it together with ratchet straps and all that stuff. So it's coming along. I'm very happy with it. As I did the last video, this roof line's come together really well. And today I'm going to try to get this piece, tacked together up throughout here. And I got to clean up where my welding area is going to be. And then we will go from there. So that's it. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for all the great comments and, a bunch of new subscribers, and couldn't be happier. So thank you very much, everybody. So just trying to have some fun here, see if we can get this roof together. Like I said, I'm a hobbyist. I was a carpenter my whole life, and this is just a hobby for me in retirement, and been enjoying it. So thank you for the help. I've got a lot of great comments from guys, and I've used, a lot of that information. So I appreciate it, and let's get moving. So without any further ado, let's go. So I got to clean a little spot for welding. I got my mask on, the vent going. My gloves on. Bad design, Makita, right there. Horrible. There was a trigger switch on it. All right. Now we got to work on cutting these in here. This spot in here. So, you got to cut this spot in here and get this put together. My heights are good, so I'm going to start cutting this in, and we'll go from there. Let me change my blade. Pretty darn close there. I'm thinking that sealed the deal. So still a little fussing to do. I think we're in pretty good shape right now. And then we'll work this out as we go. Got our height right down here. So I think we need to start doing a little tacking. So, what does Henry Ford have to do with the Wright brothers? Anybody? Well, we all know the Wright brothers were the first ones to fly a plane that had powered flight, had a motor in it. And they were making their own motors, which they were pretty successful at. But a man named Glenn Curtiss, who was making Curtiss motorcycles at the time, if you ever heard of him, he had called them a week before they got their patent for airplanes and said, I want to join you guys. And they said, forget it. We don't want anybody working with us. We want to do it all on our own. And that's the deal. But since the Wright brothers had the patent out, they owned the rights. You had to have to pay a royalty if you did anything airplane-wise. And back in those days, that was legal because it was allowed. I mean, a monopoly was an allowed practice back in those days. So, of course, Curtiss didn't take that very well, and he was the best engine maker at the time. So he decided to get into the airplane business. And he invented a plane that had a 40 horsepower motor, where the Wright brothers was only, I think, 12 horsepower. It was 12 horsepower. So Curtiss says he makes a plane that basically flies for an hour, and nobody has yet seen the Wright brothers fly. So, as it turns out, the Henry Ford, who had fought for the rights for the patent on cars, because the patent was owned by one guy, I think his name was Serling, something like that. So I think Serling, something like that. But I think that's pretty close. But he owned the patent on automobiles, and you would have to pay him a royalty for every car you built. So Henry Ford's like, we're building millions of cars, it's not happening. So he fought and he won. So after hearing this about the airplane, he went to Curtiss and said, you have, all the right to my legal team to fight this thing. And as it turned out, they fought and fought and fought. But the Wright brothers won the war, and you had to pay them a 20% royalty on every plane you built in America. So that didn't sit well with all these guys. And Henry Ford got into the aeronautics business at some point. He was building planes and other stuff. It didn't work out well for him. But the Wright brothers had so many lawsuits going on. They never really advanced in the airplane business. They were just too busy, um, you know, fighting lawsuits and not upgrading their designs in their planes. So as it turns out, they go for a military contract, and Orville Wright takes up one of the military guys, crashes, kills the military guy, and he sustains injuries which give him body pain for the rest of his life. And Wilbur uh, winds up going to New York City with the plane, and he flies around. They wind up getting to work with the government because World War I starts, and the government steps in and says, no more royalties. You split it amongst you and Curtis, 1% each. You'll get a royalty. And the government broke down that monopoly. So that's what Henry Ford had to do with the Wright brothers in flying. Just as automobiles, he said, no one should own the rights to those things. So I just thought that was an interesting story, and do with it what you want, but just an interesting tale. So there you have it. So that's your info for today. So when you're sitting around the kitchen table tonight, you heard it from me. All right, so we got our ground on. We're going to turn the gas on. Just double checking my numbers for 20 gauge steel. And that's that. So not plugged in, of course. That's your Henry Ford story for the day. I just found it interesting that, I work on these Ford cars, but I just watched the thing on the Wright brothers the other day, and I never knew that whole story about Henry Ford being involved and going to Curtis. Curtis didn't call him, but Glenn Curtis, uh, you know, was fighting the Wright brothers, and Ford thought he'd get involved. Curtis wound up dying around, I forget how he died, but Wilbur Wright died at 45 years old, and they said it was from all these battles he was doing. It just kind of wore him down. So let's get this first thing going here. First things first. I want to go slow here because I don't want to warp the metal. Keep it cool. Don't warp it. All right, I got to get a little hammer going. Let me get a hammer. So there's your fun fact for the day. 1 second. So I got to keep taking my gloves off to run the camera. So I'm running back and forth here for you. Hope everyone's having a good day. Another beauty. The tack right there first. All right, so, okay, now, let's show you what's happening there. And I'm going to have to change my ground area, my ground spot, and we'll do the bottom. But just to give you a, so, of course these are, all these walls will be ground down, but we didn't wind up too bad here. Once we weld that in and grind that, that won't be bad at all. I gotta chisel this up, but trying to give you what's going on with our roof as we go here. So I couldn't be happy with that, really. From back to front, I think that, there's a little bit of a hump in the transition here, but we will slowly tap that down, and with a lot of tapping gathers the steel and brings that back down. But that's a pretty darn good transition from taking 21 inches of roof line out and trying to tie it up. Plus our gutter, our gutter line here is going to transition really nice. So let's get this bottom done and see what it looks like. So let me get my ground rerouted. We'll go from there. All right, I've got my ground rerouted. Now we'll work on getting this piece in. Well, I hope everyone's having a good day today. It is, checking my mic. It is, again, another beautiful day for wintertime in New England. Hey, when I was a kid, we used to go skiing all the time. There was a resort right probably maybe about 12 miles from here. Not too far, 15 maybe miles. And it was called Mount Tom. And we had snow there, man. And they would make snow. And I mean, you were skiing on Thanksgiving vacation, I think, back in those days. But definitely Christmas vacation. We skied all Christmas vacation. We went up to a place called Blanford. And we had snow, and both these places are closed now because of, obviously, we're not getting the snow we used to. But boy, we had a ball back in the day. Skied all the time. Had a lot of fun. But global warming, right? There you have it. All right. So we're going to do the hope and a prayer stitch. A wing and a prayer stitch. Need a clamp. All right, who moved my clamps? Hold on. I have to keep pausing to go look for stuff that I put down yesterday and got the memory of a 64-year-old. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Put your gloves on. Guess what happens when you weld? Metal gets hot. We're burning the steel, literally. Come on. This is one thing that sucks about MIGs. I gotta clean my welder. Give me a minute. Or you can watch. This tip gets all jacked up with stuff. That's pretty clean now, but you can see the inside there. It's all that slag on it. So it builds up around it, and then you wind up arcing right to the side. So quick clean, and you're ready to go. I just keep giving this quick pops because you'll blow through quick. But that's what happens. It arcs right through the center there. And it welds itself right to it. This is copper, so it won't, or brass, I should say. Oh, it is copper. So it doesn't weld itself to it because you can't weld to the copper. La, da, 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 da. You thought it was going to be a fun job today. All right. You bitch. All right. I got to pause you for a minute. I got to clean that up good. Clean it up good. All right. I'm just going to replace the tip, but I used the last one. So Hopefully she'll last. You're gonna need a BFH for this one. If you don't know what a BFH is, look it up. Perfect. Son of a gun. Take it. It's better to be lucky than be good, fellas. Why am I singing? Gather that metal. Perfect. All right. So, I'm going to shut this fan off, if you don't mind. All right. So let's take again. Oh, there's one little spot there. You know what? Let me try to wrap that before we conclude our visit today. That's a tough spot right there. Son of a bitch, that's perfect. Nothing a 5-gallon bucket of body filler won't heal up. All right. Body hammers. So, let's take a look. Get my ground off. Make sure you turn your gas off. I learned the hard way. Left it on when I first started learning, and the gas leaked out. As tight as all that stuff is, I mean, I think it's 2,000 pounds of pressure in that tank, so it definitely pushed itself out. So now, as you see, we're tacked in, and you got to go slow. You can't just keep going, bing, 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 all the way up, because you'll expand this metal and it will warp on you. And warpage is a video for another day. But I'm very happy with that. Look at my gutter, right? See that gutter? Nice, right? I'm excited, really. I hope you can hear it in my voice. I'm just happy because this was a gamble. We had a nice old car here, and we could have turned it into a POS, and we're not done yet. We just might still, but I think the worst is getting over. And there's the trim line. Lined up nice, see? And then inside here, lined up nice. Nice and smooth with our metal there. Get that all welded in. Camera doesn't show you as much as I can see, but see, it's nice and with my fingers in the damn way. But it's nice and smooth. Oh, I couldn't be happier with that. And again, like I said, I'm a hobbyist. This is all new. I have built a couple cars already, but you're still learning. Every day you come out here, you're learning stuff. So that's where we're at. Trying to move stuff around. Drop this down a little bit so I get a better view. All right. Son of a bitch. Got more stuff in the way here. Had to put a light out because I think that the way the light is here in New England right now, it's so low that I get bad with the camera. So this will be our next tackle. The doors. And I don't have any door, so I'm going to have to really consider where I'm going to cut this and how I'm going to have to make this whole piece, but it's pretty complex. So that's a little nerve-wracking, to say the least. And I've got to close this up about close to a half an inch. So there you have it for today. I'm thrilled. This is, I'm just happy about it. It's, you know, we're coming from back here 21 inches forward. And I just, said, go for it, what the hell. And just got lucky, I guess. So a ton of welding to weld this up. This patch turned out very small. No big deal. I'll just put a piece of steel behind it and I'll just weld that hole right in. And I'll get all this stitch welded up. They'll get it ground down. We'll show you what the final product looks like on the next one. And I've got to do the other side still, but I'm not going to show you that. It's exactly a copy of what we just did here. And I think we should be able to do it. So on that note, everybody, hey, a week till Christmas. if you don't celebrate Christmas, hang out and do something else. But thanks for coming back, everybody. We're getting it, slow but sure. And we'll see you on the next one. If I don't see you, have a great new year. And 2025 is coming. So talk to you soon.